Yes, they like you and see you as a potential good fit for their team. And an offer has landed on your table and it's crunch time. Skillful negotiation is needed and very much expected from you to arrive at the win-win agreement. Let's have a look at some executable tips to pave your way. Hi, it's Lassi Albin. Welcome to my channel, where I share weekly tips and advice on how you can accelerate your career. I invite you to subscribe to my channel right below here, hit the bell button to ensure that you don't miss any of the future career acceleration tips. Negotiating a compensation and compensation package can feel stressful, mainly because we don't get to practice that every day. However, there are points to follow that will help you in this particular process and to ensure that you have the best probability of landing with the compensation that you were looking for. In the best case scenario, the offer has arrived prior to you giving a number. Recall the main rules of interviewing and compensation. Try always to discuss them at the end. That is when the parties, you and them, know each other and you have had the chance to convey your knowledge and your upside potential to them. Another scenario can be that the company is asking for a range or a number prior to making you an offer. They might come and say, we really like the interview process, we like your skills and your potential, the fit, and we would like to extend you an offer. And then they drop the question on the range. What kind of compensation are you expecting or looking for? And that takes us to our tips for the negotiation. Tip number one, before getting into any numbers, any discussions, positive attitude is number one. That lets the other person know that you really care about this offer, this opportunity, and that you came to the call or came presentially to make this work. Number two, do your research. Know your value. When you ask about the range, when you ask about the number, or even if you get the offer without being asked for the number, you need to know, is this good or is this not good? Is this where I wanted it to be? What's my number that I'm looking for? Research. There are online tools, there's things like Indeed, there's Glassdoor. There you have to pay attention to the region, which country you live in, what's the salary level there. There are big changes, if you take Hong Kong, New York versus a smaller town somewhere in Czech, for example, different compensation, different cost of living criteria as well. Research, online's one, better. Talk to your colleagues, talk to your network, ask them. You should be able to come into a quite good number on what the market pays for this particular similar position, similar industry with similar experience and the geography. Number three, understand the whole package and what you're looking for. With the whole package, I mean salary is actually misleading. It should be the compensation package for the services that you will give to the company. So the packaging compensation includes finance for sure. Depends on the individual how important that is, but we all care about the finance. Fixed finance, fixed salary, variable salary. So this could be your annual bonus, and then you have the long-term incentives if the company has them. Car benefits, other benefits that have a financial value. That's one. Another point is balance. What kind of life balance do you want? I mean, do you want to travel a lot, a little? How long the work days? How nicely you want to keep your work balanced with the other parts of your life? Very individual again, and yes, there's always a trade-off. If you're going to be at the disposal globally 100%, I mean, yes, you probably get compensated for that pain. And it's a pain if you, for example, have a family at home. No? If you're single who wants to see the world, different thing. Balance is different, but think about it. And finally, impact to the future. Sometimes you take a lower salary, a bit lower salary, in exchange for the great brand, for the great experience, for the great learning, impact on your future career. Tip number 4, give a number, not a range. So if they ask and if you really need to give a number, stick to the number, not to the range. In the previous videos, I've talked about the range. You always get the lower end of the range, so give a number. Give a number that is higher what you are willing to settle. It could be 10% higher on the annual compensation. And then you're going to be settling. They'll always negotiate. You negotiate, they negotiate, you'll end up with the number, but that number should be something that you feel comfortable with. But then again, remember the previous point, understand the whole package. Number 5, be prepared to provide evidence on your value. In the previous point, when you say 80,000, that should normally be introduced with the fact like, given my 6 years of experience in M&A activity and having lived in 3 countries, working across cross-divisional teams, and the proven track record of my projects, I would see 80 as a very, very reasonable and market matching rate. You provide evidence on your value. Why should they pay? Let's say if it's above what the team members are being paid or similar in another company, why? Why is that compensation higher? Why are you worth it? That's the point. Number 6, leverage. People talk a lot about leverage, like should I drop the note that, hey, I've got other opportunities, I'm in other processes, negotiations. Very cultural. Very cultural. I think in North America it's more expected and known that, hey, you're a good candidate, you're an attractive candidate if you have 3 or 4 processes in place and there's competition on you. Me, for example, I have more knowledge on the European market. I would only use leverage if they ask. If they ask, do you have other processes that you're currently participating in? If you are, I would definitely say, yes, I'm in a couple of interesting processes simultaneously. However, this is something that I would really be keen on looking the position right here. So you can kind of, in a humble way, say that there are a few and they're on the same timeline, but this is really, I'd like to see this through. But I wouldn't, at least in Europe, I would not throw that as a bait. It can go wrong and will frequently go wrong if you kind of hint it that, by the way, there's other things in the pipeline as well. But very cultural, as I said. Tip number 7, agree on the answer deadline. So whenever the offer is on the table, there's a phone call, hopefully, and hopefully it's not just via email. Either way, agree on a deadline when you will answer. That's going to be the time when I'm going to give my answer. If and when you make counter offer, then that comes before the deadline. Normally as soon as possible, as soon as you feel comfortable in giving your counter offer to them. But the deadline then is when you finally either walk away or say, I'll take it. There you go. These tips should support you well in getting into that win-win agreement. And hey, in case you are interested in advancing within your current company, I have a new on-demand program rolling out in March on how to advance your career with your current employer. In case you want to get notified when the program is out, just drop me an email via the link below in the description and I will ping you when it's ready. And yes, if you found this video useful, give it a like, share it with your buddies, and subscribe if you see it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.